Welcome to First Date, a panel talk show on the Reader Seeks Romance channel that celebrates debut romance authors with recent and upcoming releases. I am your matchmaking host, Liz Donatelli. It is a thrill for me to introduce 4 new romance authors who will set your hearts aflutter with their summer 2023 debut romances. Elle Everhart is the author of Wanderlust, pub date July 4th. Jessica Joyce is the author of You with a View, pub date July 11th. Lynn Liao is the author of Crazy Bao You, pub date June 6th. Amber Roberts is the author of Text Appeal, pub date August 8th. Welcome, authors. Congratulations on your debut romance releases.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Let's begin, as all first dates do, with an icebreaker. Tell me something about yourself that others would be surprised to learn. I'm going to start with Lynn.
I fostered 18 dogs during the pandemic.
Wow.
Is that good?
Wow. You've set the bar pretty high now. Wow. Okay. 18 dogs of different varieties.
We were fostering for 2 different rescues. My first dog passed away like right as the pandemic started. So I was like brokenhearted. I was stuck at home with a young child. I was like, this is the perfect time to foster.
Do you have a huge yard or?
Yeah, we have a huge yard, fenced in yard. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Did you have your family, obviously your family helped or people helped, neighbors?
He was 7 when it started, and now he's just turned 11. So yeah, my son helped and my husband helped too.
Oh my, were there a lot of big dog breeds or were there little tiny ones?
We had one big one that escaped from everything, got out of the fence, dug under the fence, jumped over a 6-foot enclosure. I got 6 pairs of our shoes. I mean, and we had one that pooped on my son because he slept on the floor with her and he pooped on her right. Yeah, it's been
wow. There's a lot to your icebreaker answer. Wow. Okay. Well, who's going to want to go after that? All right, Amber, go.
Hi. I am on the cover of a book.
Oh. Yeah, wow. Oh, so now you have to tell us the story about that.
There was a photographer. She was a teacher. This is way back when I was in high school. She was a teacher from the area, and she was doing a photography project, taking pictures of alternative youths. And I wore the spiked collars, and I had the eyeliner and like the purple and green hair. So she asked me to be in the book. They took my pictures for inside the book, and then when they were reviewing the pictures, they decided they wanted to have me on the cover of the book. So my senior year was very interesting.
Wow. At that time, did you know that eventually you would want to become an author? Or
I wrote. I never considered publishing. I thought it was one of those things that like just happened in movies. You wrote a book and published it because that's how the movie script was written. Yeah. I didn't ever think about making a career out of it. So no, I hadn't even thought of it at that point. Wow. I was still writing fanfic.
Wow. Okay. So we've got dogs, book cover model. All right. Who wants to go next? I'm going to go with Elle. Elle, what would people be surprised to learn about you?
Also right after high school. So I guess it was like 2010. I was an extra in a very bad movie about Abraham Lincoln running around a high school and trying to kill people.
Wait a second. I think I saw that. What was the name of it?
I think it was called President's Day.
Wait a second. Maybe I didn't see that. I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
I love horror films. So what was your role? Oh, you don't.
No, I was just like a random high school kid running away to not have my head cut off by Abraham Lincoln with an axe. So I didn't have like a major role.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Were you an aspiring actor at the time or?
No, God. One of my friends from high school that I was tentatively in touch with in that way that you are when you're your first year of university. You are still
Mhm.
kind of friends with people.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend at the time was working for that filmmaker, and they're like, we need some kids who are still high school age looking to just run. Do you have time this afternoon? It's like, sure, I've got exams I could be revising for, but this is a way better use of my time.
I love that. I'm gonna find. I want to watch that movie.
Oh God.
So Jessica, oh, you're in the
I
last spot here.
I know,
Okay.
and I've been sitting here this entire time thinking like, what is a fun fact about me? What is a fun fact about me? So I spent basically the past 16 years as a cosmetics product developer, which means that I have made actually many of the makeup products maybe that you've seen on Sephora, Sephora's shelves, Ulta. I was more sort of like on the marketing side. I mean, I created the product, but I would work with actual chemists to get it to the point
Wow.
that, it was ready to go out on the shelves. But yeah, I'm not a big science person. I'm definitely more right-brained creative. So I would come up with, it's long wearing. These are the colors that we want to, if it was like a lipstick line, for instance, this is the shade range that we want to do, with 16 different shades or whatever. So I was more the creative brain of it all rather than the science brain of it all. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun job.
Wow.
Took me all around the world. Very creative, very cool. Yeah, it was fun.
You have just scored a meeting with book club tastemakers Oprah, Jenna Bush Hager, and Reese Witherspoon. They are giving you 2 minutes to pitch your debut romance to them. Go!
So my book is You with a View. It's about a woman who is grieving the recent loss of her grandmother, who, was her best friend, sort of her soulmate. She also, was recently laid off. So she's living at home with her parents. Like she's just not winning at life. And she finds an old stack of photos and a letter amongst her grandmother's things one day. And the photos are of her, when she was young, and this very handsome mystery man. And then the letter talks about a broken engagement, a broken elopement, basically. So she takes to TikTok to see if she can find this mystery man. She doesn't want to ask her family about it because her father is still grieving the loss of his mom. And, her grandma was married to her grandfather for 60 plus years. It was like the relationship in their family. So she's trying to figure out the mystery on her own. So she posts to TikTok, showing the pictures, asking if anyone knows who this mystery man is. And it ends up going viral. She gets 2 million views on it. And there's a comment that says, "That's my grandfather." So she ends up, connecting with this person whose grandfather this is, sets a time to meet up with him and his grandfather. And when she shows up for the meeting, she sees, the mystery man, Paul, but she also sees his grandson, who happens to be her old high school rival, Theo Spencer. So it's sort of, the path goes from there. She sort of learns a little bit more about her grandmother and Paul's relationship, and learns that they were planning to go on a honeymoon road trip after they eloped, before, they were separated. So she decides, since she has nothing else to do and she wants to, connect with her grandmother sort of one last time, she decides to go on the road trip. And Paul says, "I'd love to go too, and I'd love to bring Theo with me." So they all end up going on the road trip together. Things happen as they do in romance novels. And yeah, that's the gist of it.
I love road trip. I love road
too.
tripping in romance. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
My book is Wanderlust. Very similar. We're going on a trip in Wanderlust. So we're following Dylan Collin, and she is very similarly dealing with being stuck in her life. Her job is completely crap at this point. She's writing quizzes and doing nothing at all mentally stimulating at work. And she impulsively rings a radio station and wins this global travel contest, with the catch that she has to travel with a random stranger that the radio station pick out of her phone. And of course, the stranger that they select ends up being this uptight, unbearably posh guy named Jack that she also, for an additional layer of awkward, accidentally met at a club, and then ghosted after having made out with him. So
okay.
he's not left things on a great note. But her boss has kind of dangled this carrot of, you want this column, you want this opportunity to write. This could be your moment. This is such a weird, bizarre thing to have happened to you. People love stories about second chance romance. Just travel around the world and write about this man. And if you have to fudge the details about you falling in love, so be it. But get on that plane and you can have your column. The two obviously are traveling around the world. We start in Sydney, we go to Tokyo, we spend some time in Cape Town, Reykjavik, New York, Mexico City. And as they're traveling, they're starting to grow closer, making the fact that she's been writing about him more or less in secret really uncomfortable and something that they have to address. Similarly, things happen as they do in romance. It's all okay. But it's really awkward there for a minute.
Now,
hotel rooms.
Yeah. Have you visited all the places mentioned in the novel?
I wish. No.
Okay.
I've been to Reykjavik, London, obviously, where we start, I live in, so that doesn't count. I've been to New York. Everywhere else, I'm just desperate to go. So it's a lot of time on Google Map, Google Street View, following along, pretending that I'm in these places.
Gotcha. Very good. Thank you. Let's see. So Amber, Oprah, Reese, and Jenna are ready to hear your pitch. Good luck.
My book is Text Appeal. It is about an introverted coder named Lark who accidentally projects an unsolicited dick pic on a screen in the middle of her big important work presentation. And she gets it off the screen as fast as she can, but it's not fast enough. And she ends up being forced out of her job. And the jerks that she works with use the opportunity to steal her big project from her. She lives in this really small area. There's not much for tech jobs available to her. So she's trying to find a way to make some money. Her chaotic, impulsive best friend suggests that she try sexting for cash, just for a little while, just to make a little money until she finds another tech job. She's terrible at it, absolutely horrible at it, and struggles until she decides to start taking some tips from her D&D Dungeon Master's handbook from college. So she turns it into a storytelling adventure. As she is finding her footing in the world of sexting and finding out that she actually likes it quite a bit, thank you very much, her college crush makes a move and tells her that he's got feelings for her. So she decides to keep the sexting a secret to see where things are going. But as things heat up between her and Toby, her friend, she also starts to form a friendship with a really nerdy, nice guy in the sexting app that she's been using. So she has to decide if she's going to tell Toby everything or keep all the secrets that she's got piling up in her DMs.
Wow. Wow. So is sexting for cash a thing?
It is a thing.
It is a thing. Now
it is. There's the pictures, obviously, and there's people sell underwear and other things. I think there's a joke in the book somewhere about I sell socks too. But yeah, there's also text-based sexting as well.
Am I the only one surprised at this?
I am.
Okay. Okay, because I thought maybe I just am not hip or something, and I didn't know that happens. Lynn, Oprah, Jenna, and Reese are ready for you. Fingers crossed.
Okay, I would bring a bow in with me. My debut rom-com is called Crazy About You, and it is about Kimmy Park, who is an Etsy shop owner who lives in Oklahoma, and she sells bags and accessories. and Matt West, who's an FDNY firefighter in New York City. And so she quits her retail job in a spectacular fashion and twerks and gets caught on a video that goes viral. So she's a very private person. She's embarrassed. She doesn't want anybody to know who she is. So she hides out in her house in Oklahoma and concentrates on her Etsy shop. And Matt buys a purse from her for his grandmother for her birthday, and it got lost in the mail. So that's how they started texting. So when a picture of Kimmy's best friend goes, she put on her Etsy shop with one of her accessories, people think that that's Kimmy. She doesn't correct anybody because she doesn't want anybody to know that the twerking girl is her. So it's fine because, she's a very private person, but then she and Matt start to DM, and they don't sext, but they start, texting sexily back and forth, and they start to fall for each other. And then his father is the CEO of a huge retail store that's markets things exactly like what Kimmy makes. And Matt was like, oh, my father's interested in your shop. He wants you to come to New York. And now it becomes a thing because she's been lying to him this whole time. So the tagline is really, can an Etsy shop owner in Oklahoma make things work with an FDNY firefighter if he doesn't know what she looks like? And, as you can tell, there's a lot of bow jokes in there. And eventually they do meet, and she has to tell him the truth. And the side story is that she thought she was Korean all her life. But then when her parents died when she was 16, she finds out that she was adopted. And her birth mother is actually Taiwanese and also lives in New York City. So when she goes to meet Matt's father, she also meets her birth mother. So that's like the secondary.
Wow.
Yep. Lots of bow jokes in there.
I like. Wow. And do you have a thing for firefighters?
My husband is an FDNY firefighter.
There you go.
And I have an Etsy shop. So this is not our story because everybody keeps saying, oh, that's your auto, I'm like, it has nothing to do with us. I just stole our careers because I can describe firehouses in New York City. And then how would you say this? And so
Right. Thank you all. Oprah, Jenna, and Reese are very intrigued, and they'll let me know when to get back to each of you. I love it. Al, if you could read the first line of Wanderlust, that would be great.
Is it cool that I swear in it?
I thought that was the opening line.
I mean,
when you just said, I thought that's what you...
No. Dylan Collin was having an absolutely shit day. Yeah.
So hopefully it can only go up from there.
Yeah, mostly, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like an opening line with a expletive. It's always...
I mean, I swear a lot in life and in my writing, so I want people to be prepared for what they're getting into.
Nice. Okay, Amber, please read the first line.
There comes a time in every woman's career when the only thing that'll make any of it worthwhile is punching out the obnoxious mouth breather who sits at the desk next to hers.
Oh.
And also it sets the tone for the entire book.
Yeah, that's an aggressive opening line.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So we're starting off gritty so far, right? Some cursing, some violence.
Punching.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wow. Okay. Lynn.
There was nothing like having a very public breakdown and insulting my boss, well, ex-boss, at my place of work to bring my best friend and beloved aunt flying to my front door.
Wow. There's a lot of dramatic openings here. Wow. Okay. I'm digging it. I'm digging. Jessica, what do you got?
I wake up to 2 million views.
I love it. Let's talk tropes. Which tropes do you use to tell the love story between your main characters? Now, this is also an opportunity for you to share tropes that you might have created and that you can officially claim on the show, and going forward, those are yours. Amber, so what tropes do you use?
Friends to lovers, hidden identity, mutual pining.
Okay. Do you think you can claim a new trope involving sexting? Maybe is there a sexting for cash trope?
Fake sexting.
How about wankle pics?
Wankle pics.
That's a new one.
Wankle pic for the purpose of wanking.
Oh, wanking. I thought you said wankle.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did say wankle. So that's wankle. Is that
Wankle. The wank and ankle. Wankle. Wankle pic.
I don't know what to say. I just don't know.
Neither did my copy editor, who thought that I had been seriously mistaken. I said, no, that's what I meant.
Wow. Well, someone's going to have to go next after the whole wankle thing.
I don't know how you follow that up.
I guess we just end the episode now. It's done. There's nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. Lynn, what tropes, existing and new, appear in Crazy About You?
Mistaken identity, I guess. Somebody said catfishing because
Okay.
she was catfishing him, I guess. And I didn't come up with this one. My friend Allie Hazelwood did. She read the book and she said he's not a cinnamon roll hero. He's a bow hero. And I guess long distance, because they were long distance. Yeah,
got it. Okay, Jessica, what existing tropes or new tropes exist in You with a View?
I mean, obviously road trip, which goes into forced proximity, which is one of my very favorite tropes. I have just one pull-out sofa bed. Which is kind of a twist on just one bed. Rivals to lovers. I kind of go between like old rivals to lovers and adversaries to lovers, because they're not enemies. They're just they like to tussle with each other. I also have I always say last names as foreplay, because they call each other by their last names.
Gotcha.
Until they don't, at a pivotal point. And then roasting as a love language. They like to kind of tease each other, I guess.
Okay, because when you said roasting originally, I was thinking food, like roasting.
Yeah, no,
but you mean like
each other,
like a comedy roast.
Yes.
Okay. The thing about last names, I recently came across something somewhere where I think it was a review and someone was like, oh, when they call each other by last names, that's so sexy. And I never really thought of it in that way before. But it seems like that's happening more and more in novels, especially when there's like an antagonism going on.
I mean, it's always been like, as a reader, whenever I read something like that, I'm immediately like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like it does something to me internally. So I was like, I have to have this in my book.
Okay. All right. L, tropes existing and new. Please share.
Similarly, we've got travel. We've got forced proximity. I really liked the way you said roasting is a love language, because I was trying to think of a nice way to say like outright insulting each other. Roasting is a lot softer, so I'm gonna attach myself to that. We've got grumpy and sunshine as well, which I don't know why. I'm just obsessed with. And then they're not quite enemies. They're not quite strangers. They're just, we've been calling it uncomfortable to lovers. They're kind of awkwardly stuck together.
Right.
And are not always awkward and uncomfortable.
I'm glad that you've brought to light the fact that enemies to lovers is nuanced, because there's different levels of there's hostility, there's just like an awkwardness and uncomfortableness. It doesn't have to be full on, I hate you because of something you did to me or said to me. So okay, very good.
Just a lot of, we're sharing a very tiny space and I barely know you.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Let's talk heat levels. Where does your novel fit in my alliterative scale? Sweet, sexy, steamy, safe word. Sweet being closed door, sexy being a little bit open door, a little bit titillating. Steamy, open door, pretty, fairly graphic. And safe word, BDSM, and beyond, I guess you could say. Lynn, where does Crazy Bao You end up on the scale?
I am the worst at writing sex scenes, and my friends have told me, do not put that in the book. You are cringe. So I am now closed doors, but with the script, like the foreplay is there. So I guess it's somewhere between sweet and sexy, but more towards the sweet side. Yeah. Allie calls me the furry chest licker now because I said I licked his furry chest.
The furry chest licker. Oh, wow.
That's her nickname for me now.
Now that's all of our nicknames for you.
Right.
We were at a restaurant in New York City, and we came out of the bathroom and there was a furry wall. Like it had fur on it. So there's a picture of the two of us licking the wall.
I know that exact picture. I remember looking at it and being like, what is this about?
So you saw the picture. Also, I have to find this online, throw this up in the episode. Was there alcohol involved in this evening? Before?
I mean, there was, but it had nothing to do with us licking the wall because she saw the wall. She's like, Lynn, this is your wall. We need to lick it.
That's awesome. Elle, where does Wanderlust fit in the alliterative scale?
It is open door, and it's probably not the most graphic thing you'll ever read, but it is detailed. It is very slow burn, apparently. So there's that factor of it. I kind of wish now I was a little bit more closed door because I'm a teacher and my students are telling me they're buying my book, and now I'm living in fear, but it's published. I can't fix it now.
How old are your students?
They're secondary, so like late middle to high school. I'm like, you shouldn't be reading this.
Maybe. I mean, their parents should probably like read it first to see what.
That's the email I'm sending home of today. Your daughter shared with me that she bought my book. I strongly advise you read it beforehand. Make an informed choice.
So it sounds as if Wanderlust is like high sexy, low steam, because you said that it's somewhat graphic, but it's not. I mean, or is it just it is full on steam?
I mean, I guess it is full on steam, but there's only one sex scene in it, so that's where I think it's not going to be the steamiest thing you're going to read.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. You're going to have to report back with what parents are saying and what students are saying, because
I keep trying to block it out, but every single day it just keeps. They're newly telling me they bought it. Please don't. Please return it.
Jessica, what's the steam level?
I'd say steamy. I mean, it's open door. There's descriptions, it's enough that like when I sent my mom my book, because she was begging me to read it, I posted and noted like the areas that I was like, if you read this, like we're never talking about it. So don't tell me if you've read it or not, like those specific parts. So I'd say steamy for sure.
Amber.
It lands in the steamy area. I wouldn't have called it steamy. I would have put it more at sexy, but then a lot of people have been describing it as steamy to me, and saying, "Ooh, those steamy scenes." So, so I guess that's probably where I'd put it. It has a lot of innuendo too. So I think that, but it's not innuendo in a "whoo boy" sort of way. It's innuendo in a "I can't believe she said that" sort of way.
Okay.
So it kind of it bounces around, I would say.
Gotcha. All right. Just the fact that there's sexting for money, I think, puts it in a steam category, just, off the bat.
Well, you haven't read those sexts yet.
That's true. Who did you dedicate your debut romance novel to, and why?
To Emmett, who makes the whole world brighter, and to everyone who needs a reminder to be brave. And in true British fashion, I've added a kiss, an X at the end. Emmett is my son, and he does make the whole world bright, even when he's getting on my nerves, which I won't tell him. And I think I needed a reminder to be brave quite a lot over the last couple of years. And I think both Dylan and Jack needed one as well, so it felt fitting.
I got all the signs that you were with me while I wrote this. I love you further than forever. There was inspiration that I drew from my grandma, obviously with this novel, because Noelle, the main character, is grieving the loss of her grandmother. I went through the same thing. And I also just like really felt her spirit with me when I was writing. She was always super supportive of my writing. Like she would sneak onto my computer and like read what I was writing, and encourage me to keep going. So it felt right to dedicate this to her because I think she would be so excited to know that I have a book out in the world. So
absolutely. Lynn, if you could read your book dedication, please.
Well, so this is my first romance, but it's actually my fourth book. The first two books were upmarket fiction, and I dedicated my very first book to my two dogs. It said for Pino and Loki, my heart and soul. And I also write thrillers. So with the contract, you get held up by the book. And my agent was very smart and only had my first two books say like upmarket women's fiction. So I was able to write another genre. So while I was waiting, I wrote Crazy About You. And we worked on it for 18 months. It didn't sell, and I decided to self-publish it. And then after I decided to do that, she sold the audio rights at a five house auction. So this dedication for this book is for my agent, Rachel, who believed in me when I didn't. And for anyone else doubting yourself, you can do it. Because we, went on sub with this book for 18, I think it was like 18 months in like two different age groups, YA and adult. She believed in it. I believed in it. And so I decided, let's just put it out there. And then, so the book is out now, and yeah, she did a lot of work on it. So I felt like she needed acknowledgement.
Fantastic. That's a great story.
mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Amber, if you could please read your book dedication.
For Eric, Forever Stoked, you're the player 1 to my player 2. And then it includes the Klingon for I permit you to use my superior baitlith, which is a way to say I love you. We play Minecraft together.
Oh, okay. Nice.
and Halo and other games too, but like right now we are deep in the Minecraft game.
Very cool.
But every night after dinner we play video games together.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. What's your romance writing superpower? Amber, I think you locked eyes with me first and then you tried to hide it. So Amber, what is your romance writing superpower?
Maybe voice. Everything I write is really voicey, and I latch onto the voice before I even understand what the plot is, or the conflict. So yeah.
Jessica.
I think and I'm taking this from what people have told me versus what I think.
Mhm.
But I think tension. I love writing tension, especially when it's sexual tension.
Mhm.
And have definitely gotten the feedback that the tension is there between the two main characters. So I think it's something I both enjoy and am good at.
Elle.
I think maybe a bit of the banter, the little jokes. I make myself laugh. Now, whether other people think I'm funny is debatable. But I was in here cracking myself up laughing as I was having to edit these. I forgot I said that. Haha. So I'm at least bringing myself joy. So I'll say that.
Lynn.
So, well, we know my superpower is not writing sex scenes. So that's my unsuperpower. But my superpower, I think, is so this is my favorite. Somebody said that this rom-com does not follow the romance script, and it marches to its own beat. So I think I write romances that don't follow because I think it's because I write other genres. So I've heard this said a few times that it kind of marches to its own beat, but they were like, I kind of liked it. So, I mean, there is a happily ever after that has to be in there, but
yeah,
I'm not following the rules of
right
a rom-com.
I love that. So you add kind of a unique twist on the romance recipe, given your experience writing other genres. So that's you're bringing something new to the table.
Right. And somebody always dies in my books. And I was like, oh, this would be the first one that nobody dies. And then I was like, oh no, I killed off her parents.
You couldn't help it.
I couldn't help it.
Number 1. Have you heard rom-coms with macabre meet-cutes that take place at a blank are all the rage? Okay. All right. Show me your answers.
Okay.
Okay. Morgue, very good. Funeral home, I would say would match morgue. Butcher shops.
I was thinking meat cute is what pop butcher shop. I don't know.
Okay, meat, play on meat.
Yeah.
Cemetery, very good. Mansions can be, yes, very macabre. Well, it looks as if me and Lynn match. So, and nobody else matched with each other. So it looks like only Lynn and gets points because I really don't play. So, Lynn, you start off with 2 points. Number 2. According to Book Talk, the best romance of the summer is an erotic romance set on a spaceship in which couples engage in zero gravity blank. Zero gravity.
Oh, wait, almost did that one.
We're on the same.
But you know what? You guys all match, but me and Lynn again match exactly.
You guys are on the same page.
So let's see. So Amber, I'm sorry, did you also put sex?
Yes.
Okay. Lynn, we're on the same wavelength.
I know.
Okay, so each of you get a point for matching with each other because you all have sex. But being I wrote oral, which is a very specific sex. Number 3, Liz Donatelli's romance novel, published by Ancestry.com, launched a controversial new romance trope called blank to lovers.
I'm scared of the first
I
thing.
know.
Jessica got it first, I think.
I just don't want to write it down.
I'm a little concerned about what you're writing.
I'm
Third cousin siblings. Wow, you went to the dark. Related to lovers. And Amber, what do you have? Siblings. Wow. Okay, keep them up so I can make note because we've got a lot of matches going. Okay, number 4. A reader on Goodreads gave Liz Donatelli's romantic suspense novel set in an amusement park only 1 star and commented, "This book would have been way sexier if the couple had been trapped on the blank instead of on the Ferris wheel." What are your answers? Swings, trampoline, love boats, roller coaster. Roller coaster, I was thinking tunnel
I was
of
going to say
love.
roller coaster, but then I was worried about the logistics.
Well, that would be for the talented author to figure out.
right.
Trampoline. Have you been? Okay, the swings. I know what you're talking about. The swings that go. Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting. Trampoline. I have not seen one. By the way, we match. L, because love boats is what you meant, right? The tunnel.
Mhm.
Love,
Yeah.
the
I
boats?
couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah. Trampoline. Have you been to an amusement park with a trampoline?
Those like huge inflatable
The bouncy houses.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering how you get stuck on a trampoline together, like that you can't get
I'm
out.
only a writer. I don't know what words are. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so L, you get 2 points. Let's see. All right. So right now, what do we have? One more? All right, we have one more. And this is where we stand right now. 2, 4, 5. So far, Lynn has 5. Jessica has 3.
Mm.
Elle has 4. Amber has 2. So there you could still I don't think Amber's going to win, but I think someone else might. Someone else could. All right. Sorry, Amber. So this is the last one. In Liz Donatelli's time travel historical romance, Cleopatra travels to the 1980s and falls in love with rock star blank.
It's a person, like an actual
A
real
rock star, a person, a rock star singer. Okay, now I said 80s. It could be any time in the 80s. Okay. John Bon Jovi.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Get out. Okay.
All I
Bowie,
could think
Bowie. Okay. All right. Keep them up. Keep up.
There we go.
Lynn, I think we've got something going here, Lynn. Lynn, you got another 2 points. Bowie and Bowie. So we've got Amber with another one. We have Jessica with another one. And Elle, you put Freddie Mercury. Really
All I
good
could think
answer.
of.
That's a
Really
good
good answer. All right. Let me calculate. I do believe Lynn is the winner, but let's see. 5, 6, 7.
Lynn, you did great.
Yes, Lynn, you won at 7 points. Second place, Elle with 5, Jessica with 4, and Amber with 3. This was an exciting.
Yeah.
Lynn, I have never matched with someone as much as I have with you.
We're sharing a brain.
We're sharing something. We're sharing something. Thank you, Elle, Jessica, Lynn, and Amber for joining me here on First Date. I wish all of you continued success and happy writing.
Thank you.
Thank you.